he's treating Hue Jackson like Hue Jackson quit on this team. Hue Jackson was fired. So rather than him go home and just collect money from the Cleveland Browns organization for doing nothing since he got fired, he decides to try to salvage his career as an NFL coach by going to coach at Cincinnati under his friend Marvin Lewis. Because if you are Hue Jackson, and what was your record? 336-1. You lucky if you get any kind of job from anybody after that. You got to take a job as soon as you can get one, because who knows whether or not you're going to have another opportunity, not to mention the fact that if you are Marvin Lewis, who should be on his way out, Hue Jackson is somebody that they're talking about miraculously might end up possibly being the head coach. He's supposed to sit home and do nothing. He's supposed to turn down that job. I'm just saying, if you Baker Mayfield, it's like, listen, I understand. 9 touchdowns, just 1 interception, completing 74% of your passes since Hue Jackson left. You talked about the play calling, but you absolved Todd Haley. So basically you were pointing the finger at Hue Jackson not really being a good play caller, even though I thought Todd Haley was calling some of the plays.
He
or
was
whatever.
the play caller.
But he was saying, but Baker was blaming Hue Jackson and absolved Todd Haley. That's a different discussion for another day. All I'm trying to say is, damn, he got fired. What do you want to do?
Let's have that discussion today.
Sure.
Let's have it right now.
Sure.
You're not wrong. If you're Hue Jackson or anyone, you take the job, the best job available.
Right.
Duh, of course. Baker maybe. But the problem,
in his case, the only job.
Right. But and by the way, he might be in line to get another head coaching job right away with a team that's not untalented. Here's the problem. You are taking Baker Mayfield far too literally. You're actually looking at the words and interpreting the precise meaning instead of what's underneath. He does not like Hue Jackson, obviously. And the question to me, the larger question is that justified? And let me tell you why I think it is, and I love this Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is next level competitive. And in a draft where you were expecting him, at first it was like, is he going to be top 10 or 15? He's small. People don't know. Sam Darnold checks more boxes and everything. The Browns were like, no, we're going to go ahead and take the guy who we think is the best player. We're not butt covering here. We're actually going to get the best guy. Sam Darnold started for the Jets week 1. Not Baker Mayfield. It was Tyrod Taylor. I thought that was a mistake. If any quarterback seemed to be ready to go, it was Baker Mayfield, but he has to sit there on the bench. Then he finally gets a chance to play. Guys, do you realize since Hue Jackson left, Baker Mayfield has the 2nd highest quarterback rating in the world next to Drew Brees?
And Todd Haley left too.
Do you,
keep them both in mind.
But he's not. But he's going at coach. So where are the feelings for him? See what I mean? Mm-hmm. A guy who was up close and saw it all unfold, has feelings about Hue Jackson, and that tells you what the story is, at least from Mayfield's point of view. Baker Mayfield is so good. Ladies and gentlemen, this dude hit the ground in the NFL running, and he feels, I'm talking about from his point of view, clearly, that he and his team were kept down by Hue Jackson, and he's mad about it. I love Baker Mayfield. Read between the lines here. This is about the way he feels, not about the way he thinks.
Baker Mayfield needs to grow up. This is pro football. You're dealing with grown men. Things happen in pro football. People get fired, go to other teams. Players get cut. They go to rivals. It happens all the time. Coach get fired. He decides to pick up a available job that Marvin Lewis obviously reached out to him about. And what I found funny about this whole thing, Baker Mayfield, didn't he go from Texas Tech to Oklahoma?
Oh, preach, Damien.
You went from Texas Tech to Oklahoma. 2 teams in the Big 12, but you want to argue, you want to talk about,
someone's living.
You want to talk about that? Yeah, and that's in college football. Yeah,
this is grown men trying to pay mortgages.
Right, yeah. You talking about guys trying to pay bills. You went from one rival to another in the same conference. So, like I said, Max, you talk about Baker Mayfield. He's balling these last couple of weeks or whatever. But this whole comment just shows how immature he is. He needs to grow up.
Well, let me say this to you, Max. I don't want to hear that about reading between the lines and reading underneath the surface. At some point in time, we get to quote you. Mm-hmm. Now, if we heard it third hand, or we were reading it in a newspaper. And you know how as reporters you got 800 words. I would know this. You writing an article, you got 800 words, and somebody gives you like a 600-word quote. Damn it, you ain't printing the whole quote. You understand? I get all of that. Not here, Max. That's on camera. He looked into the camera. He got asked a question. He answered it directly. I am allowed, and everybody is allowed, to look at his words, directly what he said, verbatim, no editing out or anything. He's right there. And he sat up there and said, "You just gonna take another job?" And you know,
let me ask you something.
Wait, listen to what he said. He said, "You were in this locker room, and clearly you wasn't with us." Where you get that from? He was with you.
So what you are, so this is my problem. This is the reason I'm interpreting the emotion and not just taking them literally as you guys are. What you're taking away from this whole experience is Baker Mayfield has some growing up to do. Because what I'm taking away from it is Baker Mayfield is next level competitive. He doesn't like Hue Jackson because he felt he was kept down. And this is a man who's not trying to be kept down.
But that's what Damien said. Damien talked about growing up. I'm saying, damn, that was vicious and low what you said.
Think about it in college.
No. What I'm saying is,
he had to pretend to cry in college to apologize
to Damien wants to level
it
as him needing to grow up, fine. I don't have a problem with that. I'm saying, damn, that's cruel. The man got fired. He got fired.
Baker Mayfield ain't worry about your feelings or Hue Jackson.
I understand that. We understand that. But no. He's not just trying to win because they just won. So you ain't trying to do it. You just did it. And after you did it, then you sat up there and tried to literally excoriate the man by saying he wasn't here for it. He was our head coach, but he wasn't down with us. That's wrong, man.
He also
That's low.
snubbed him. He tried to hug him, and he just put his hand out.
And I like Baker Mayfield. I like Baker Mayfield, but that was low.